Yo, what is up, YouTube? My name is Jack Gardiner. I hope you enjoyed that track at the beginning there. That featured my good friend Owane. Thank you, man, for helping me with the programming and the keys and the production and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed that, let me know down in the comments. Maybe me and Owane can make some more new music soon. But yeah, all the tones that you heard on that track at the beginning were all from this brand new plugin by Neural DSP. This is the Soldano SLO100. It's a legendary amplifier. I was actually really lucky in the sense that I got to actually play through the real thing back in August of 2020 at 42 Gear Street 2 over in Germany. My good friend Ross Campbell and I basically filmed ourselves playing this amp for the first time, and you know what our reaction was. I was blown away by it. There's a reason why this is considered a legendary amp. You know, you had guys like Eric Clapton, you know, Betancourt, I believe, even like Steve Lukather, people like that. All of the 80s and 90s guys seem to have one of these in their collection. It's just a really, really great amp. So let me tell you that this plugin definitely feels as close as possible, I think, to the real thing, with a few extra bells and whistles. You know, we have some really nice effects in there that we can utilize, which you guys know me, I love reverb and delay. This is perfect for that. Before we go into the main walkthrough though, guys, I do want to just ask you, please make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click that little bell for notifications. I make all kinds of content. There's free lessons every Friday. I release my own music, you know, music playthroughs, music videos, all kinds of stuff, and of course gear demos and reviews just like this one. So without further ado, in order to check out this plugin, we are actually going to have to head over that way, and you'll see these really ugly 70s Swiss curtains we've got here. I apologize, but anyway, let's scoot over there. So guys, first things first, let's just walk through the plugin. So when you first open it, this is what you are faced with. Now, if you are familiar with Neural DSP products, I'm sure you'll recognize this kind of front, if you like. Here we have the amp itself. This is the Soldano SLO100. We are in the amp tab. Now, you can see the amp itself. It's basically full of controls. I love the way that, like the original, this one goes up to 11. For those who aren't British, who haven't seen Spinal Tap, what are you doing with your life? You need to go and check that out. Basically, the controls are, we have a normal channel and an overdrive channel. Now, with the clean channel here, there is a crunch functionality and there is a bright switch. Now, they only work both with the clean channel, and then we have the overdrive channel on this side with its own separate controls. The EQ works for both though, and then we have a separate master level for overdrive and normal. There is also a presence and a depth control. I believe there was no depth control on the original Soldano SLO100, I should say. That came with the new one they released just a year or so ago, I think. But yeah, super simple, straightforward amp, really. So in the first tab though, up here, we have our effects pedals before the amp then. So we have the compressor, which is lovely. We have an overdrive 1, overdrive 2, and then we have a chorus. Now that's great for all of those 80s kind of sounds, as I'm sure we'll find out later on. There's an EQ section over here, so it's a parametric EQ. If you want to, you know, fine-tune your tones, then this is the place you can do that. You want to boost a certain frequency like I have on this patch. You can do that if you want. Then we have the cabinet section. Now, the cabinet section, it's like all of the Neural DSP plugins. Basically, you have the choice of microphones over here. So we have some classic mics like the 57, the Ribbon 121, condenser mics, the 421, or 414, I should say, sorry. And then you could, if you wanted to, use dual mics. So you could have a dynamic 57 that's based on our SM57 on one side, and then we could have, say, the 121. That's a common pair of mics. Then in the final tab, we have our delay and reverb, so time-based effects, and the delay and reverb in this sound particularly lush, perfect for those soaring lead tones, shall we say. But I think first of all, maybe let's just check then my first patch. So here we have this one, which is called Lead 1. It's a lead patch. So I'll play a bit. Let's hear what it sounds like. Lovely, and I love the delay. It's just exactly what you want from a lead tone. What's going on essentially, I've got the overdrive actually set quite low, if you have a look at that there, and I think, no, I'm not actually using any pedals, so this is kind of the lowest gain we're gonna really get. I mean, you could use the crunch channel if you want, but yeah, for that perfect amount of saturation, I'm using the overdrive channel. That's set to just past 1, so you can imagine there's a lot here if we want. Crazy, you know, if you want the gains, this has the gains. But I think we should maybe move on. Let's have a look. Okay, so this one's called S-Style Clean, and now this was the clean patch you heard on the track at the beginning there. I'm sure you can imagine what I'm trying to base this on. I believe Soldanos are essentially based on a Messer or like a Fender. So the cleans really do chime like one. I love it, but let's give this a go. I've got no reverb or delay on this. Do I even have the compressor on? No, I'm not using the compressor either. So this is just clean from the amp. As you can see down here, I've just boosted the master really a little bit and boosted the presence and a bit of top end. I'm a sucker for top end, shall we say. And the bright switch is engaged. So it's just typical kind of funk sound. Works really well if, you know, you're playing like in a funk style setting, I guess, like at the track at the beginning. It's super dry, but that's what we really want. We don't want too much reverb. Of course, you could stick on a compressor if you want for a little bit more. Let's hear a bit of that. Okay, on, off. It's just really subtle. That would work really well, say you're playing single line stuff like. Really, really nice. Now, of course, if you wanted to, some people prefer this, you could stick on one of the drive pedals in front. Let's try overdrive 1 here, it sounds lush. So that would work really well if, say, we crank the gain on the amp up a little bit. Let's just push this. In fact, we could go to the crunch setting here. Get rid of the pedal again. So this is just the crunch channel without it. That is lovely. I enjoy that. Reminds me a little bit of like, you know, like Vi's kind of tone in the 80s. In fact, I'm sure Vi used one of these amps on For the Love of God. We all know that tune. Yeah. So, sounds pretty naughty to my ears. Let's move on to another preset then. So this one I've called, seeing as we're on that 80s thing, bring back the 80s leads. So this has used a chorus in front. We don't really hear this sound so often anymore, I don't think, not with lead tones, but it was kind of used in the 80s, and I actually have like, it's a guilty pleasure of mine. So let's have a little listen to this. That's the most 80s chord going, isn't it? So it could be used really as like a rhythm patch as well. I've just got the chorus set with the rate quite high. Depth is just below 12 o'clock and the mix is all, well, it's at 12 o'clock as well. It's just lovely. Without that tone then, without the chorus pedal on, this is what that sounds like. Responds really well to dynamics. Look, if I pick a bit less. So you can turn it off and you've got a great lead tone there anyway. Okay, so let's take a look at another patch. Okay, this one's called Hit This Clean by the Bridge. Let's follow what it says. So play a few chords. Just gonna give that a little bit more level because that's a little bit quieter. Especially if you get that kind of that sound right by the bridge there. I love that patch. Let's move on to another one then. I think this is probably going to be the final one that we look at today. Maybe one more. Okay, so this is like Ambient Edge of Breakup. Now, it's just basically I've got the crunch channel engaged and I've got quite a lot of reverb and delay on the go. Nothing in front of the amp, but yeah, the crunch is engaged. Just bear that in mind. So let's check out this. Sounds lovely, perfect for those ambient kind of tones. Now to finish things off then guys, let's have a look at this one. I've called this Stadium Lead. This is just to try and emulate, you know, the sound of the guys in the 80s, all of those dudes I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Yeah, this is my kind of tribute to them. So let's have a look. Basically, we are on the overdrive channel, and again, I'm not using much gain whatsoever really, but I've boosted the mids quite a lot and the top end. Some people hate that. I've got the presence up to 11. And the depth is just being taken out. So I'm essentially cutting the lows, which you don't really need for a low, for a lead tone anyway. Then I am actually using overdrive too. So there are tons of gains on this, and I've got the delay and reverb engaged. So it's really easy to play. So there we have it, guys. This amp is a beast, or I should say this amp plugin is a beast. I really, really enjoy playing this one. I think it's between this and the Fort and Cali, which is going to be my main lead tone, because, yeah, I'm getting some seriously nice sounds from this one. Maybe I can use both. It's one of them, isn't it? Maybe one day we can look at, setting up a dual rig with those two plugins. But if you do want to check this out for yourself, Neural DSP are running a 14-day free trial on all of their plugins. And I believe with this one, you will get the tones as part of the plugin, the presets I've used or made for it today, shall we say. So you can experiment with them yourself. Guys, like always, I just want to ask you, please do make sure you like, comment, subscribe, click that little bell for notifications. My name is Jack Gardiner, and I hope you've enjoyed this one. What did you guys think of the tone? Please let me know down below. All right then, guys, until next time, cheers.